All right, inside this messy garage, we're dealing with a Gottlieb haunted house. Um, this one is in a bunch that I've gotten recently. It's the first one that I've gone through. It was pretty much working. I mean, it had some usual issues that Gottlieb's have. It was missing the driver board, but thankfully that was easily remedied by just swapping another one in there. Ended up having to do a few things to it aside from the normal cleaning and new rubbers and all that. I've not LED'd this at all. There's only 3 LEDs in the entire game right now, and that is just in the coin doors because those were missing. So I said, why not? Coin doors, excuse me. But it came out really well, shooting really well. Got some broken plastics here and there, but nothing major. This is probably the worst offender of the bunch. Some other ones have cracks and things like that, but nothing prohibitive, nothing that's super stitched together with epoxy or anything like that. So it's got original Gottlieb style flippers and flipper mechs. Those aren't modified or anything. Let's see, I did go through and polish up a bunch of the metal. The gates, I got the roll under switches and things like that. What else have I done here? In the back box, I ended up doing the ground modifications. Gottliebs are notorious for having issues with common grounds. They don't all tie into a back plane that's making all the grounds uniform across the entire board set. So you have to basically create your own uniform ground process. So I've got individual wires going from each board over to a bolt that's then clamped down with a nut, so all of them are stitched into one common ground, and that's tied into the lower cabinet. So that's all done there. I've got a battery pack with a removable male-female connector in the back as well. I had to reflow some of these, or not reflow them, but some of the displays were dim. So, you hook up your 12 volts on the outer 2 pins and run some voltage through that for about, 3-5 seconds, somewhere in that, and check it. And you do it a few times, and eventually you get to a uniform brightness for the most part. As long as the display can be rejuvenated, then they will come back. You could damage it forever, but I've got a number of these displays, so it wasn't that big of a deal. The entire game is incandescent though, but it does really look nice with the incandescence. I am going to end up LEDing this out. I LED everything that I have out. Just it makes sense for heat, for longevity, just overall brightness of the game, getting that back in order. Inside the cabinet, I'm missing the tilt bob. I have other tilt bobs, but I don't have the style with the thumb screw on it. I don't have any of the little clips, so I've got to order some of that and get the tilt bob in there. It's missing the coin door components, so I can't accept any switches. I had to clean all this out, and I ended up getting about $3 worth of quarters that were just kind of jammed in here, because if somebody sticks a coin up in there, it just falls right into the guts of this thing, so not ideal. This capacitor, somebody had those 2 wire leads for that capacitor full length. I mean, they were up to here. So if that thing got bent or touched together, it would have shorted out. Possibly tried to weld something together on its own. So I rolled those up and got them short, and then soldered them back in. So that's no longer an issue. Knocker coil down here. I got to order one of these. This guy is fried, and it's just chilling out down there. So I got to get that installed. It's missing the little roll tilt ball, which who cares, but for completionist sake, I'll probably just put one in there anyways. But it's turned out pretty well. Pop bumper caps are in good condition. The bodies are in good condition. I would like to go through and probably put some new pop bumper Mylar rings on it because they're kind of lifted, and one of them, that one in the lower playfield, had to tear off because it was halfway ripped up anyways. But that's kind of common for these things. So they're meant to do a job, and their job is done, so they need to be replaced. It's mostly rubber bands on this thing. There are a few silicones in there, like these posts down here are silicone. These posts up here are silicone, and a few others, just because I only had certain sizes in silicone. In a perfect world, I'd do the whole thing in silicone rubbers, but I don't have all those just yet. So it turned out pretty good. Somebody had already added a credit switch in the front there. I had to take out the key. The lock didn't have a key with it, so I had to replace that. The back glass is in pretty darn good shape. It's got a little bit of rub up at the top. Nothing terrible, but otherwise it's in great shape. Got it up on stilts here just to get a little more slope. But cool game. Definitely a when people think of Gottlieb, 1980s, early 80s, 70s, all that stuff, this is kind of one of those pinnacle machines for a lot of reasons. Obviously the coolness factor, the theme, the different varieties of the gameplay with all the levels and things like that. But you know, between this and Black Hole, nobody else was kind of doing that sort of thing with the reverse playfield and everything. It does make the main playfield a little weird because there's so much open space in the middle, but you know, for its time, it was a really cool change of pace for a lot of things in pinball. So really neat. There's a lot of side-to-side action. You've got obviously pop bumpers, but then you got two kicking targets here. You've got a hidden sling over here. So just stuff all over, just kind of rattling the ball back and forth, and you get some weird action that comes from there being exposed portions, so that ball can rattle all around in there and come up underneath the flippers and stuff. Kind of a wild game, but yeah, it's fun to have in the collection. I've only owned one Gottlieb before, and it really wasn't even a Gottlieb. It was a Premier Victory from '87, I think. That's a System 80B game. It's a standard body. I got it for dirt cheap. I did not pursue it. It was just like $200. Basically working. Needed usual stuff and a bunch of stuff done to it, but it was all there, and I got it working pretty quickly, 100%. But the game was not any fun. The playfield was okay, but the rules were terribly lacking, and just got boring very, very quickly. This game is single ball. Victory was single ball. Victory had two balls in the machine though, and that was only for like a feature where the ball would go in and stay there. So then you kick another ball into play, and then you play that ball, and as soon as you drain that, you wouldn't get multi-ball. It would just kick that ball back as like an insurance ball, which you can do that, but at least give somebody multi-ball. Which, it's stupid that it had a 2-ball trough and then it didn't give you multi-ball at all. This game does not have multi-ball, but this was kind of at the beginning of the multi-ball craze with, you know, Firepower and Scorpion and Solar Fire and Black Knight. Well, Black Hole had multi-ball, and that was a fun thing in there. They did not implement it into this for whatever reason, and they've since, somebody's made a multi-ball ROM for the game, so it can handle multi-ball. I haven't looked into exactly how it handles the trough though, if it requires you adding a switch so it knows there's 2 balls in it, or how that works, but there's a ROM that adds multi-ball and speech to the game. I'm a big fan of this not having speech, because after watching video of that, it's that typical Gottlieb early synthesis speech. It's just jarring, you know. This game's got a cool vibe and the sound and the lights and everything with it. So that weird synthesized speech just doesn't sell it. With Black Hole, it's, you know, it's fine to me. It's there's better speech synthesizers out there like Bally had, but at least with Black Hole, it's kind of space. So you're dealing with electronics and computers and the space station and all that stuff. So the Black Hole verbiage, the way it speaks is okay. This doesn't need any of that, unless the synthesis was going to do something cool with like haunting noises or ghosts or something to that effect. Who cares? So I'm glad this doesn't have it. And if I did put a multi-ball ROM in there, I'd see if I could do it without the speech component, because I just wouldn't gain anything from that. I think with the speech, it either makes the regular audio duck out or it overlays it on top, but maybe there's a way, like if you have to have the speech, you could just turn the potentiometer down so the speech is at 0% and the rest of the effects that are 100%. And then you technically are running the speech code, but you do not have to listen to it. I don't know. Maybe people love the speech on this game when it's in that mode, but I do not. So anyways, this is a cool game with some amazing artwork. Reminds you of like Splatterhouse and Psycho, the house from Psycho. It's just got a cool vibe to it. So fun one to join the fray. I've got some others I got to dig into of this era. Volcano is one of them. That's multi-ball. Got some cool stuff on Volcano. Pink Panther. I've never played one, so that one's going to be kind of a chore, but everything's there as far as I know. Caveman. Oh man, what are some other? Force 2. So yeah, I've got some projects coming up from this era amongst some other games as well from other manufacturers. But these Gottliebs, I'm learning them. I've worked on a ton of games and a handful of Gottliebs, but they're just kind of their own deal. They've got their own quirks. They've got their own challenges. But, just like anything, once you kind of learn it, you go, okay, I got it. I can figure it out. So that's where I'm at. We're this far. I'd like to see it LED'd soon enough so that I can cross that off. But otherwise, it probably plays really, really well. And it'll be a good one to add to the collection. Thanks, guys. Bye.